let's get started. I'm just using these 3 brushes so far that I know of. And we've got white, black, true red, cadmium yellow, and bright blue. This is going to be a very bright painting. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with my white, and that's just to kind of get the background really prepped for the mixing of colors. I'm hoping that my painting doesn't disappear, or my outline does not disappear. So I'm going to have this as watered down as possible. I'm going to grab some blue. My blue, my red, my white, and my yellow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some of that blue. Just start putting it in the corner. I don't want it to be too, I want it to be smooth like that. There you go. So keeping this like watered in there is how you do that. So you're going to add a lot of water to this background. There we go. Yeah, I'm liking it. So I'm going to add the yellow next to the blue. And the reason why is because that'll create like a green color. And, but I don't want that to blend with the red because then it'll start to make a different color. So we don't want that. So I'm just sticking with the yellow. Okay, now I have that yellow there. I can add some red here, grab some white. Grab some more yellow. Keeping my my brush wet is the best thing you can do. You see that green is coming out and that orange is coming out. It's because you're mixing the colors. And anywhere where you see how I've got this orange and blue here, I'm going to add some white there to help it blend better so it doesn't create such a brown texture. I'm going to add some white in here. I'm not minding if it gets in my image. That some of the colors are blending. So you want to do this fairly quickly so that things blend. Trying to make sure I don't have any, like where you can see the spots of my canvas. Now, this is just a pencil drawing that's on here. So that's why like my image almost disappears. But when you do yours and you use when you use carbon paper, it'll show a lot more clear. So it won't disappear as much as mine has. But I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead and make our ring. We're going to make our ring first, and then we'll work on the feathers and the beads last. So right now, let's go ahead and make our ring. So we want an orange. It's almost like a brown orange. So we're going to take red, and I'm using my line brush, and some yellow, minus the dog hair. Okay. So we get this nice dark orange color. Grab a little bit of that blue so we can get like a dark green or a dark, like a brownish orange, like a burnt. So it's just a little bit of blue. So this is going to help you to mix colors. But there you go. Now I got myself a nice brown. I'm going to go ahead and start painting the ring. If you're going to use another color as opposed to mixing, you could use like a burnt sienna. There we go. We've got our ring. We're going to add some, a darker, make a darker brown. So I'm going to take that brown and grab some of this black and just create a darker brown. And we're going to put some highlights and lowlights in here. It's better to do it now than later. So I'm going to show you. Just going to go ahead and I'm probably going to put it on the lower side of this one and on the lower side of this one. So it's going to blend right into that brown that's already there on the bottom side of it. I'm going to grab some more. I only have a little bit left, so I may have to mix some more. Yeah. Okay, so let's grab some red, some white, or yellow, I mean, and grab a little bit of that blue. Get that dark brown color. And then add it to that black. There we go. Now I can do it on this bottom side of this one. This just kind of gives it dimension. There we go. Okay. After we've done that, we can grab some of this brown now and add a little bit of that white to it. So now we're lighting it, making it lighter. I think I want a little bit more yellow to that. I want it to look more orange. There we go. I like that lighter color. And now I can add some. So in between where these, each of these swoops are where the string comes in, I'm going to just add a little bit in the center of my ring, a little bit of that light color in the center of my ring. So wherever they connect, and I go in the center there and add a little bit of that lighter brown. Let's go ahead and now start making our strings. Now our strings are going to be different colors as well. So you're just going to use your lime brush, and I'd wash that pretty good just so you can do the different colors. And we're going to be making the red, orange, yellow, green. So again, if you want to get the colors, you can, or you can just mix like I'm going to do here. And I'm going to give you a recommended optional colors if you want to just use the different colors as opposed to mixing. So, but I want you guys to try to mix colors. So I'm just in the center. I'm going to go ahead and take this red. I'm starting with red. I kind of want the center to be red, like in that color. For whatever reason, you could use whatever color you want. Okay. Now I'm going to start adding like an orange in places. So I'm going to grab my red and my yellow. And make an orange that I'm happy with. And I'm just going to start adding some orange to this in certain places. I don't have to do them all. Okay, I'm go to my yellow. And whenever you do this, you want to make sure you have a nice point. So twist, dip and twist, and it gives you a nice point. And I could add some yellow in here. And when you do this, you want to make sure you start where the last one stopped, the last color stopped, and then grab, move on from there. Like don't leave a space. You want it to connect to the last color, so they kind of look like they blend together. Okay, well, let me go. So just to kind of keep it easy, so you don't forget a color: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So I'm going to go ahead with, so I have red, orange, yellow. I'm going to make green now, and that is with blue and yellow. And actually, you need more yellow than blue, so I grabbed a lot of blue. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that blue and blend it in. I'm going to grab some more yellow. I want that to be a lot brighter than it is. If it gets too dark, you can add a little bit of white to make it brighter. But I'm liking that color. Let me grab some whites and kind of see whether or not I like it. Nope, I like that darker green, but it's already there, so I'm going to use it. And you just make a point again, and then I'm going to take it all the way to the end and connect it to the next one. So I'm barely touching the canvas as I'm doing this. Very light. Then I'm going to do some blue. So I'm just going straight to the blue. Dip. I could wash my brush just to make sure. You want it to be a little wet, your brush, not entirely, but you want it to be a little wet. That way it can, not like as wet as you did your background, but just so that you can get a nice line and it doesn't stick too much. So and it leaves, and it goes on a lot smoother. Okay, so now I'm going to make some violet, and I'm going to mix blue with red. Some more. You can make it as light or as dark as you'd like. That's pretty purple. Okay, let me add a little bit of white to it to brighten it up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and start adding my violet in certain areas. When your brush starts getting fat like that, make sure you go back and pick up some more. In other words, fat where it starts taking up too much space. Go back and get some more paint, and then barely touch it, and it'll make it so much better. Got this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to red. I'm going to wash my brush and go back to red. Dip it, just the tip, twist as you pull out, and then go back and finish the rest with the red. So what I started with in the center, just to throw some red in there in certain places. You may find that in between every stroke, you need to grab some more of that color. Let's see, make sure we're not missing any. Okay, I think we got them all. Okay, are we loving this? Because I'm loving this. All right, let's go ahead and start making our strings and our beads. So you can choose to do them in leather by making them brown like this, or you can go ahead and use colors, which I'm going to use colors, and I'm just going to randomly grab. So I'm going to start with blue, which is my favorite color. And so whenever I go to make a string, I want to round it so it's going around, so make like a curve, and then follow my string down. Okay. Then I'm going to grab some red, or you can grab purple. But if you have some, so the reason why I grabbed red was because I already had blue on my thing, so it would make purple. So that's why I grabbed the red. But you could always just grab the colors that you mixed. So I'm going to go around this thing because it's curved, right? And then I'm going to bring my string up. Anywhere, so what I'm doing is wherever there's where they connect, that's where my strings attach, okay? And then I'm going to bring it down. See. Grab my orange. So these C's will go, so that curve will go this way on this side, and on this side they go the other way. Oh, look, I missed a line here. I'll make that red. Okay. So those are my beads, or those are my my strings. So now I can make our feathers. So our feathers, we want to grab white to create the center. Of each one of these feathers that we're going to add. And yours will probably be outline. Now, if you didn't use the outline and you're just creating this, all you're going to do is make like this curved feather. And you want them to be larger as they go down and smaller as they go up. So the larger ones would be in bottom and they get smaller as they go up. It just kind of looks better that way. And you could add more feathers on each string if you prefer. So the only reason why I put the white in there is to kind of distinguish where they are. Now you can go ahead and start adding them in. And again, you can add more as as we go. So now you can go ahead and start putting your feathers in. And the feathers, I would suggest you outline them first or you create them first. So I did a little drawing here. Like I did some drawings here on the side. I don't know if you can see them, but they're kind of like that. I could add the designs that I created, and you can put them down or you can just do what I'm doing. So they're not pre-drawn, in other words. So I'm going to draw them in as I go. So I want to put in like maybe some blue ones that are going to be in the forefront. Again, that's my favorite color. And then I'll put some like pink ones in there and maybe some orange ones because I think pink, orange, and blue would look good together. So I'm going to go with that. So I'm just going to just start creating my feathers. And I'm just doing the outline. And the reason why I'm doing the outline is because I want to add, even though this is going to be blue, predominantly blue, I'm probably going to add some green in here to give it a little something, something. Okay. So there's my outline, but it's not, it's going to probably be bigger than that. Because, you know, we got to be dramatic here. So let's go ahead and let's do some red. I want to do a red one here, I think. I'll put another blue one here. This one's going to kind of come off the page. Throw another red one in there. Put it over here. Okay, let's make an orange one because I really want some orange in here. If you feel like you have too much paint on your brush, just wash it off to get a nice, good point. All right, let me go back to my orange. I should have washed my brush in between that because it's picked up some of that blue and made like a brownish color, but grab some more of that orange or yellow to make some orange here. Again, if you want it to be brighter, you can use the bright orange if you don't like these colors. Okay, so I have my colors in there. I'm going to go ahead and start with my orange, and I'm going to work this way because I'm right-handed, so I don't want to put my hands on them, but I just at least wanted to place them. So with the orange, I can add green or yellow to it, or I'm sorry, red or and yellow to it, because yellow and red make orange. So I'm going to start filling this in. And I'm using my line brush just because I already had it in my hand. But um, if you want to use another color, or if you want to use another brush, like your round brush, feel free. So I'm just kind of filling it in, but not entirely. I'm going to keep my brush wet while I do this blend, because I want to make sure that it blends nicely. Okay, let's go ahead and add some color to this. So I'm going to add some yellow. And I want my brush to be slightly wet while I do this, because it just helps it to blend nicely. Remember how we did the background and it just blended nicely? Kind of like what we're trying to do. Have a nice blend. Then I'm going to add some red to it. Now, because I have this red feather here, I'm going to add yellow right there so this feather doesn't disappear, so they don't blend too much. Add some water now to my brush. You can dunk it in there and then dab some of that water off, and then come over here and then just start blending it. You dab it on a napkin. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to do red. And if you're finding that it's not blending good, go ahead or it's starting to get too dry, go ahead and grab some water and wet your brush. Okay. So I can add some colors to that now. I think I'm going to go with some pink and orange. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm mixing some white with some yellow, or some white with the red to get me a pink color. And I'm going to start blending that in here. Again, after I get that in there, I want to wet my brush and then blend it in with the red. And then I can add some, I think I'm going to do orange. I'm going to grab some water and blend that in to the red that's already there. So I'm just leaving little bits of spaces to create that nice blend. I'm going to add some more orange over here because I really do like that orange in there. Okay. Now I'm going to go wash my brush, go with the blue now. Okay, now I think I'm going to add, I think I'm going to do like a blue, a little bit of that green. Add some of that green and grab some of that blue. And then I'm going to grab some of that white just to lighten it up quite a bit. Because I want like a lighter blue, but I don't want it to be too bright. So I'm going to grab some, there we go. Okay, I do like that, but I'm going to use green now on the other side, just plain green. So I want you to have fun mixing colors. Make sure I wet my brush and then blend this. Not totally wet, just enough to blend it. You don't want it to be dripping or anything like that. Okay, here I go with the orange again. And again, with the orange, you want to make sure you stick with, because it is a secondary color, I want to stick with red and yellow. Okay, so let's get some red and yellow in here. So put the yellow on this side. Grab some water and blend that in. I'm going to grab some red. And I'm going to grab some water and then blend that in again. You want to make sure you take off some of that water when you grab it. I'm liking that. The orange is kind of being taken over by that red. I'm going to grab some more of that orange. I'm really liking these. Okay. So now I'm going to go with the blue. And you can have it come off your page. If you'd like, you're not sure where this is going to end up. If you want to put a background or if you want to paint the sides. Okay. All right, let's get some purple in here. Some violet. I'm going to grab some red. I need to make some more violet, so I'm going to grab some red and some blue and mix them. I'm going to grab a little white to lighten it up. There we go. I'm liking it. Okay, let's throw some violet on this side. Add some water to it to get it to blend. Then I'm going to get some light blue. And I'm just adding white to that blue. You could even choose to, instead of adding another color, just choose to add white or black and then blend it from there. That would be cool too. But for the sake of learning how to mix without and attempting to stay away from browns and grays, this is how you kind of do it. You're going to be playing with color, and playing with color helps you to, will help you to learn how to blend. I'm liking that. Add a little bit on this side. Okay, let's go to red now. Again, I'm just randomly filling in. And I'm liking the pink, so I think I'm going to add pink, but I'm going to put it on this side because this is very pink-ish. So I'm going to grab some white or some red and some white. Wipe my brush, grab some of that water, dab some off. Then I'm going to blend it in. Too much water on there. I'm liking that. I'm going to add some yellow to the other side. I'm going to grab some water. And then I'm going to dab some off. Okay. All right, I got to make some more of that orange because look, I only have a little bit. So I'm going to grab some red, which has got a little bit of that blue in there. We don't want that. We don't want all that. And then grab some of that yellow. That's a really dark orange, which I'm not liking it. I just added a lot of red. So now I'm going to have a big old glob here, which I'm not too sad about it. Maybe if I just add this to this color. Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm liking that one. Okay. And maybe I'll add some of that to it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do when I make this one. Let's go ahead and paint this in. Oh, I painted the whole thing. I didn't mean to do that. Well, let's just go ahead and add some color to it. How about that? I think I'm going to add some white to that orange. Some more white. There we go. I'm liking that one. Okay. Well, let's go to the blue. I got to remember to not to paint the whole thing. I don't know. Maybe I just loved the way that orange felt on there that I just got overzealous. Okay. Okay. So let's go with the green again. I could also grab some violet, but I would have to make sure that my brush is very clean. And I want to make my violet a lot brighter. So I'm going to add some white and grab some of that violet. Like I want it to be really bright. Really light colored. Yeah, I think that's what I want. So I'll go ahead and add that in here. Now remember, you can do any colors you want as long as you stay on the same side of the color spectrum. So whenever I'm doing a blue, I want to stay near the greens or the violets. If I'm doing a red, I can go with an orange or a yellow. Stick with the same side of this color wheel. Okay, I'm loving it. Now we can go ahead and start adding beads. We can add more leaves or feathers if we want. So I kind of want a feather here and I kind of want one here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my white and put another one in here. Let me see. It's not going to be big at all. There we go. And let's go ahead and add, I think I'm going to do let me do an off color. So let me do a pink one. So I'm going to make a pink one. I'm going to take my red and my white. And make a pink one here. So let me go ahead and Okay. All right. So now I'm going to use, I think I'm going to go with red on one side and maybe a violet on the other, so purple. So we're going to go with red here. And then I'm going to grab violet. Okay, now let me go ahead and blend these. Wet my brush a little bit. I'm going to blend that violet in with this pink. Okay, now I can add another one there. See how it kind of fills it in? I'm going to add another one there. I think I'm going to make a yellow one just to kind of brighten it up. And because this line back here is violet, I'm going to have to make sure I put probably a double layer on that. I think I'm going to go with green on this one. So let me grab some green. I'm going to make a green using my blue and then my yellow. Grab some water to blend them. Okay, let me go ahead and add orange on this side. Okay, I'm going to have to put another layer on that. But for right now, we're going to let it go because we need that to dry. But before you do that, let's put our beads in there. Okay, we can make our beads different colors. We could also make them brown, which I think is what I'm going to do because we already do have a lot of colors in there, but we can add colors as well. So we're going to do a brown color. We need some more yellow. There, now I got a good amount. Okay, so I'm just going to start adding some beads to this. And you can use this this brush right here. Or you can use your round brush. With your round brush, you'll probably make them larger, which is okay. Now, I'm leaving space just in case you want to add more colors to it, which I think I'm probably going to add some colored beads as well. I've got my beads on there, and now I can add different colors in there as well. And just, have fun with it. Put them wherever you'd like. Okay. I'm liking this. Okay, now that we have that all done, we're going to go back to our dream catcher on the top, our ring. And we're going to add a little bit of white highlight. Just on the edge. Being sure not to cross over where those strings are. And then on this side, you're going to do it on this part of the ring, just to make it pop a little bit. And you can put some inside on your strings very lightly. Just on some of them. You're not putting it on all of them, just on some of them. And you're very lightly touching the canvas. Okay. Now your beads. You're also going to put some light on your beads. And what you're going to do is on the top side of your bead, you want to put a little bit of white. So you're going to be going back and forth on all of these. Just on the top side, kind of curving it like that. If you pick up some of the color of the other beads, just wipe your brush off and go back to your white. Just putting a little tiny bit. Okay. And if you want to, you can add some to your feathers, especially the light colored ones. And the reason why is because you want them to kind of stick out. And I'm only going to do it on like one side and not on both sides. So again, I'm barely touching the canvas when I do that. And there you go. I hope you guys like your canvas, or I hope you guys like this painting. It's called Dreamcatcher, and I hope you enjoy it. Have some fun playing with color. Peace.